Welcome to today's Profitable Salon Creator live stream. I'm Caroline Cooper. I'm the founder of the Profitable Salon Creator Network. I've created this so that it's an opportunity for salon owners to learn to upskill so they can create profitable and harmonious salons that help support the woman that they employ and themselves to thrive. So today we are going to be looking at products for your salon. So this came up as more of an issue because of COVID. This is becoming, more of an issue because this, for some salon owners, the products they sell is becoming their lifeline to their business. So it's really important that salons are having products in their salon that allow them to really thrive and really grow their business in a really profitable way. So today we're going to look at why it is important to really take some time to consider what product brand you're choosing, and we're going to step through all the things that we need to be looking at when we're choosing a product for ourselves. So this, the slides that I use today will be available in my group, the Profitable Salon Creators Network. It's a Facebook group. It's a private one. So just jump in there and grab them. They're for you to use and have a look for as a reference point if you want to look at them after. There's no charge for it. It's free. So just make sure you grab it. If you're watching this live, make sure you put live. And if you are watching replay, I'd love it if you put replay so I know where you're at. So basically what we're going to So today I want to talk about why it is important. So why is getting your salon brand important? It's for a number of reasons. The main three, though, are cost, performance, and how it fits with your brand. So the cost. So if you don't get your salon brand right, swapping out your brands is expensive. But beyond that as well, it is expensive to hold a lot of stock that you're not moving because you haven't picked a brand that aligns with your market and with your salon brand. So all these sort of things intertwine. So there's the three things, but there are a lot of overlap. The performance. So how does this product perform? What is your client's expectations? And how does that meet the performance of the brand? Do you do a lot of people with grey? Do you need something that is really focused on grey coverage? Or do you do a lot of younger people or a lot of blondes, something that's really focused on blondes? So, it's really important to think about your market and how the products that are offered by the brand. I mean, you may love a brand, but does it meet the needs of your market? And then financially as well, if you're not offering products that your market wants or needs or desires, they're not going to purchase them. So it becomes really hard to make those add-on retail sales and add-on treatment sales if they're not aligned with what your client's expectations for themselves are coming into the salon. And more importantly, it really helps shape your brand. It sends a really clear signal to your market about where you sit in the brand and the sort of services you would deliver and the expected results they could achieve. So if you choose a young, vibrant brand, but you're in an older market, there might be some disconnect there, and some potential clients may be turned off by that fact because they think, I think this is too young a salon for me. Equally, if you have, if you're in quite a young market and you choose a brand that is geared at older professional women, they might think that it's, again, not for them. So it's really important to think about who your market is and how that brand will be reflected in the market. Now, a lot of companies, they run a number of brands in their portfolio. So it's really important when your rep comes out to you, talk to them about the different brands that they offer and have a think about what your market and your ideal client is and which brand they would align to. The key thing here is to step away from what you would want to, what you want for your salon, and look at what your client's expectation is. So the next thing is looking at the brand match. So we'll start with looking at this. We'll carry on from where we've just left off here. What is it about this product that's going to elevate your brand? What is it about the product that's going to help your brand be more identifiable with your key market? So we want to look at things like brand alignment. Do the models they use represent your clients? Do the colours they use represent your clients' expected outcomes? Are they able to push the boundaries enough to encourage people to be excited by it but not scare them? So is there an alignment with the brand? Also values. So what are the values of the brand that you're looking at, and how does that align with your salon's value? For example, if your salon is really focused on organic, sustainable services and processes and treatments, going for a high-tech brand may not be the right match for you. You might want to look at something that has a little more of a focus on the environment and sustainability. So also market confidence. So if you are looking at a brand, how important is having an established brand to your market? Do you have a number of people who would prefer to go with a trusted, recognised brand that they recognise from their childhood? Or are they excited by new innovations and new brands that are out there, and that they would view an older brand as something that is quite limiting? Think about the market positioning as well. So not all brands are pitched at the same point. They come in at different price points, and they also come at different age groups and demographics. So think about the brand that you're looking at and think about how that fits against your market and your ideal client. Can you see your client reflected in that brand positioning? Would they purchase that product from another salon if yours wasn't available? And then also about client expectations. What is their expectation going to be when they come in for a service around the look of the product, the smell, the availability of add-on services, and the results. Again, what is their expectation around results? Again, looking at things like the amount of grey coverage you do or the amount of blonde you do. If you are a blonde bar specialist, you want to be picking a brand that's really focused on delivering those perfect blondes. Think about that client expectations, and how does the brand that you've got align and support your salon's brand and your salon's position in its market. The next thing to consider is, are they the complete package? And like I alluded to before, there's many companies that do run a number of brands in their portfolio, and they often give you the opportunity to mix and match, but it is really important to think about when you're purchasing products, what is the colour ranges that they offer? Is one range enough for you, or do you require a permanent or two different permanent ranges? Do you require a fashion range, a demi-permanent range, a temporary range? What's your personal hairdressing style, and also the expectation on your market? What do they want from these products? So how many, what colour ranges do they offer, and what is the results? Are they for a more mature look, or are they for a younger, more contemporary look? Think about other chemical services. Now, this is something that's often overlooked when we consider what brand needs to come into our salon. But things like perms they have been totally out of the mix for like the last 30 years. Perms have not really been happening, but you're seeing them emerge more and more and more as people want to have that wavy or beach look, and they've got dead straight hair. They want to be able to create their home. So we're getting soft body waves back and starting to see perms coming back into the mix again. So, if you've got clients coming in and asking for these things, does your brand have an ability to provide those products for you, or are you going to have to look somewhere else to get those things? So the obvious ones are perming, chemical straightening, and things like protein-based treatments. So what other chemicals do they offer? Retail brand options as well. So again, often many companies have a number of brands, and your clients might fit squarely between two brands, and so you might offer them as alternative price points or even sometimes looks, because some people honestly will pick based on the way it looks. So in their bathroom, so you might offer 2 or 3 brands out of a product, out of a company to deliver on all your clients' needs. And do they have enough options? Because there's some brands out there that are quite limited in their retail range, and you may find yourself supplementing from other companies. So what basin options do they offer? I know some companies will give basin stock free or a large amount of basin stock free. Others have small amounts based on your purchasing size, and others expect you to pay for it at either a special discounted price or even at the full trade price. But also as well, do they offer basin sizes? Because not every company offers basin size stock. And if you're a company, a salon that goes through a lot of shampoo and conditioner or treatments, you may be looking for a company that offers it in bulk sizes for that basin, the basin area. Treatments. Now this is a really interesting thing, because a lot of it can be overlooked in a lot of salons. But treatments is something that's really consumer driven. And it's something that people really want in their delivery. And this is across all price points. So just because you operate on a more budget conscious market, people still want this, because it's really the key way for them to make services individual and unique and bespoke. And this is what consumers want. Consumers, and we will look at trends like on the internet, I don't want to name any names, but you'll know them. There's people can purchase shampoo and conditioner, and they can pick what it does for their hair, the scent, the colour, the bottle size. They can customise every aspect of that product specific to their needs. And this is what consumers are really looking for in all price points. And treatments, in-salon treatments, are really the key way for salons to deliver that sense of uniqueness and bespokeness to the service to each individual client. So it's really important to look at what treatment ranges are offered by your company, because this is something that consumers are really looking for. And this is, I don't feel, is strongly driven by the industry. I believe it's driven by the consumer. So having treatments available is really key to helping that client feel like they've got a individual bespoke service from you that they can't get somewhere else. And then ritual options. So this is a bit of an extension on treatments, and it is around the ability to turn treatments and some chemical services and some basin options into rituals and make them more of a standalone service in themselves rather than an add-on to something else. Now, this might be not something that your salon is at a place in time where it wants to deliver or can deliver on these yet, but it is something to consider for as your salon grows and moves forward and evolves in its client base. It may be something it wants to offer later, even if it's just as a special treat for your loyal clients. So having a think about whether your product company can do all those things is really important, because sometimes we go in really enthusiastic because we love the colour, but find the retail brands a bit lacking, or that doesn't offer treatments, or that the basin stock is not free, or there's no discount on it, and or that's not even available in basin sizes for a lot of products, and it can be very frustrating. So the next thing you want to look at is extra support. Now, this is really important when you're choosing the company from which the brand usually sits under. So this is where you get a lot of extra value from your product company, and this is the little space that really allows your business to grow with the support of your company. So things like the number one thing is training. So even access to just product knowledge is really important, because, I've heard of situations where the rep comes in once a year to do product training, and you have to think, is that enough to really give my stylists that in-depth knowledge that they need to be able to serve and deliver to my clients on a regular basis? What other training do they offer? Do they offer chemical service training, trend training, all those sorts of things, motivational training, all those sort of stuff in terms of, trying to encourage stylists to try new things and engage with clients in a more invigorated way. So the next thing is social media and marketing. Now, this is becoming a bigger and bigger part of your role as a salon owner. And so to get some support here is really helpful, even if it's just in terms of images and video stock files, because access to these is really invaluable in helping shape your online brand. And this goes back to what we were talking about before about the product brand representing your or being aspirational to your target market. Because when you start using their stock file images and photos, you want your clients to recognize that that's something that they want to achieve for their hair. And there's many companies that do offer really great media things. It used to be on files, but now with the internet becoming more and more accessible, we're definitely seeing, member-only sites or access areas where you can download the material you need to give your social media the boost it needs to, really engage and grow your client base. So business leadership and industry support, this is really important. How does your company that you're working with promote and support business leadership? How does it support the industry? How is it engaged in your local industry? The usual one is things like industry awards. Are they sponsors? If you went to a competition or in a Stedford to have your hair to do hair in Stedford, could you use your brand's products? Because often they only allow the sponsored companies to have their products for use in these competitions. So it's things like that give you options in terms of being able to offer more to your staff and to your clients. Product development and innovation. This is also really important. How regularly are they coming out with new products and new technology? And there is a bit of a fine line here because you don't want them to be every 12 months completely having to change your whole colour bar. But at the same time, the colours that were on the market 10 years ago are not the same as the colours that are on the market now. So it's really important that they have a really clear timeline or framework for rolling out new color, new technology, new innovations, so that you've got new offerings to give your staff and to deliver to your clients, and that there's new products for your clients to purchase that meet their hair needs in a more exceptional way. So another thing to look for is customer service and support. How often do you see your rep? Who will you speak to when you ring up over the phone? How do they handle your queries and inquiries? What's the sort of turnaround for orders and delivery and, those sorts of things. And the final thing you can look at is the promotions that meet your market. So what promotions and giveaways and things like to order. So there might not be freebies. It might be that they have packages or gift packs and whatnot. Are you going to swimming? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Sorry, my son's off to swimming back into the pool at level 2. What else I say? Oh yeah, so do the packages that they offer, like at Mother's Day and Christmas, are they the sort of things to really engage with your clients? Are they going to be easy to sell, or are you going to be frightened to bulk buy them for fear of them not moving off the shelves because it's not what your ideal market wants? So, and also, what other incentives and things like that can they help you with that really align with your market's expectations? So the next one is financial. This is the big one, and this is my final one. So let's talk about money matters, because this really does come down to it. And this is why I think it's really important that you think clearly and long and hard about the brand that you align yourself with. If you are finding that you're swapping out brands regularly, this could be a real issue because it's quite expensive to do that. And you can waste a lot of money. And it's also, there is it upsets the staff and the clients as well if there's a lot of changing in and out of brands, because it does affect your salon's brand. And so it's really, really important here that we look at the things that your brand can offer you. And often working with one product brand, this is my little pro tip. Work with one product brand, because that's the way you're going to get the biggest discount or biggest rebate, because you've got the most money going through the one source. Often when salons buy a bit from here, a bit from there, a bit from somewhere else, is that they have the same spend, but because none of those spends reach a threshold to allow them to access rebates and discounts, they often end up paying more for that product, and it's not as profitable for them. So this is really important. If you are using 2 or 3 brands to get your hairdressing needs met in terms of products at the moment, it is time to go back and look at your brand and see where you can make changes, because this is the opportunity now for you to get better value financially from the company you're working with. So this moves me on to things like rebates and discounts. It's really important to know what the rebates are, what the kind of spend you're expected to do, and know the plan on how to get you there. And the other thing is discounts is as well, what kind of spend do you need to have to access discount levels? Because some companies will offer it straight away as long as you sign up exclusively with them. Others will have quite a high threshold before you can start accessing really good discounts. The discounts may be better, but unless you're a big salon, you probably won't hit that target or that mark straight away. So the next thing to think about is clear invoicing and payment terms, because as a salon, we are really dependent on cash flow. And, being able to pay in 30 or 60 days can really help allow us to soften out those highs and lows of the cycle of being a salon owner, the summers and winters and Christmases and all those sorts of things. So have a look at the payment terms, and also at what point will your account be cut off. Now, it may not happen. You might be a really good payer and consistent and, good on you. But the reality is that there is a point where all owners have gone, how am I going to pay my colour bill? I need more colour, but I can't pay it. So, talk to them about what the conditions are, because sometimes, they have extended payment terms, they have emergency amounts you can buy up to, they have options to pay bits on credit cards, they have often like direct debit payments. So there's lots of things that go on, and you need to find one that's going to work well with your cash flow and your banking system to allow that you're not falling over your due date. And if in the unfortunate situation where you do have either part payment or full payment lagging and you need product to continue, what is there a safety net mechanism, like a one-off credit card payment up to a certain amount that might just get you through? So it's one of those things. You have a talk to them. Your financial situation, and talk to them about what's best for you. So again, going with a company that has multiple brand options is really helpful. And this is what we've talked about now: is that the brand is the brand has to align with your company, with your salon, but a company may have a number of brands, and they may be that they have one for younger people, one for blondes, one's for professionals, and one for older. Which one of those brands within their product portfolio does your market most align with? So by having multiple brand options, it does allow you to trial and error things, because sometimes you can be surprised. I once had a brand that I thought was definitely too high end for my market, but actually it was a very versatile brand that you could use one product in multiple ways. It actually really met my wash and wear market really, really well, because they were prepared to pay more money for something that had more than one function, so they felt that that was really good value. And so for me, that was a surprise, because it didn't really, the imaging and all that sort of stuff didn't really align with what my market did, but the versatility of the product did. And that was not something that I was straight away aware of when I chose that product. So by choosing a brand that has multiple, a company that has multiple brand options, it allows you to have a little play without the risk of having to completely swap out the whole back bar. It allows you to tweak it until you get it right, until it's humming perfectly for your market. Things like minimum order size. Now, I know this has been a problem in the past where certain companies will only allow you to order a minimum of 6 items of one product at a time. There might be some units which you definitely will sell more than 6 of, so you have no issue. But there's the odd thing that you might purchase for that one client or 2 clients that just love a product that you don't really sell for the rest of your market. And you might just want to purchase 1 or 2 of those products. And if they have a minimum product order size, that could be a little bit of a problem. You could end up with stock getting old and having to chuck it out. The next thing is base in stock. We talked about this before. Sort of what is their rules around base in stock? What are they going to provide for you? What do you need to pay for? What size do they come in? All those sorts of things are questions that you need to ask, because it's integral to do your work to be able to have a good base in stock. So what is their options? Testers and samples. Now, some companies offer them free, others offer free to a limit, then you pay, others are straight pay, but then also some do not even offer testers and samples. Now, if you're the sort of market where people would like to take products home and try them before they purchase them, or they love little gift bags made up for them for their birthdays with little samples and products in, those sorts of things can be really important in your ability to do your in-salon marketing to your clients. So have a look whether they offer them and what's the conditions around, getting your hands on them. Again, look at what promotions they offer. Look at the value of those promotions. I've definitely seen some promotions where I thought, you're probably cheaper to go and make these up yourselves if you're on a good discount already. And other ones, I think, oh my gosh, they're amazing. Why can't I order more? So things like limits on the number of items you can order during promotions, the regularity of promotions, and also the ingenuity of the promotions, because sometimes I've seen some amazing promotions put together, which I thought, when you purchase so many tubes of colour, you get so many bottles of retail product. Doesn't seem like an obvious promotion, but when it works really well in terms of being able to, align your colour services with encourage them to purchase retail. And then also support items and other stock that they offer. So things like capes, aprons, brushes, bowls, treatment trolleys, hair processors, all those sorts of things. What does your brand offer that can help you in the salon? Because often they can be added to your overall spend and help your rebate. But also as well, it helps with your branding. It helps with the whole professionalism of your salon operation. And so and it's also really much simpler to add if you need 6 aprons or 12 aprons to add them to your colour order than to go and source them from somewhere else. So these are things to consider when making your financial decision. My pro tip, like I said before, is pick a company that offers a number of brands that you can choose from within that and still achieve your rebate or discount across the whole group. It allows you more flexibility to trial and error things. It allows you more scope to evolve as your market evolves, because the people you're serving now may not be the people you're serving in 10 years' time. And it really allows you to have that long-term relationship with your product company, I suppose. And they're more able to offer other things, particularly training. Training is a huge cost to a business that can really be subsidized and supported in such a fantastic and powerful, engaging way by product companies. So, look, it is a really big decision, and it is one that, as salon owners, we all need to make at some point. If you are finding you're swapping out your brand regularly, this is a chance to really have a look at your brand and find something and pick something that really meets your needs. If you're finding that you're getting frustrated with your brand because they just don't offer things that your market needs, maybe it's a time to try and have a look and see whether that you can find something that aligns a little bit better. So that is all for me on only 30 minutes on choosing your brand. The slides for this Facebook Live will be available in my Facebook group if you wish to look at them. They are quite helpful in terms of acting as a little checklist if you're working through choosing a brand for yourself. And let me know in the comments what brand you use and why you love them. I would love to know. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was such a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you with my next video, when I'm going to look at how to deal with dealing with stylists when emotions run high in the salon. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Bye.